everyone. I think tonight it's time for a really tough conversation about self-worth. Worth? Let's get the video started. Okay, everyone. I know that this may be a tough conversation because, you know, when you're in your teens and you're in high school and you're just learning about you and you haven't learned to love you yet, you haven't learned your worth. I think that that's such a hard time. And it's the same, I think, for men and for women. Here's where the trouble can begin. We start in our teens and we often struggle with our self-esteem and even into our 20s. Sometimes people find their worth or their self-esteem or whatever that may be, whatever you would like to call it, a little bit earlier than others. And some people don't have time for the shenanigans of things that happen within relationships that happen in your teens and then into your 20s. And then you move into your 30s and others grasp your self-worth. And then others, it happens more into your 40s. And I've often heard ladies and gentlemen speak about 40 being that changing moment for you. And it was for me, by the way. Just so you know, I've always talked about having that puppy dog personality. I want to seek out the person in the room that doesn't really like me because I just know if they got to know me, how could they not, right? So I am a people-pleasing kind of gal. And I struggled with that in my 20s and in my 30s. And then in my 40s, one day, a switch just went on. And it wasn't necessarily anything like, wow, these people are crazy. It's, hey, you know what? I'm going to start loving you a little bit. You're kind of a cool person, LaurelBelle. And I think that it's pretty groovy. How about we spend some time together getting to know us? And then how about we don't let people push us around like we did in our 20s and in our early 30s. It just, something just flips and it becomes, let's say if someone says, hey, do you want to go, I don't know, do you want to go grocery shopping with me? And in my 20s, I would say, okay. Now I may have had a million things to do. I may have been so stressed. I may have been on the point of tears, but I would go, okay, because I would think, well, maybe they need me to go grocery shopping with them. In my 30s, I learned that I didn't have to say yes and I didn't have to go, but here's how it would kind of sound. I would go, well, I'd rather not. I have a big day at work tomorrow and my boss is coming from Texas and I'm kind of panicked about it. And this has to take place, and that I would tell my soul of the reasons why, because I didn't want to hurt the person's feeling. Now that I am 40, if I'm close to you and if you dig for it, I'll probably give you the reason still. But if you say, do you want to go grocery shopping? I will go, no. And it's just changed a little bit. It doesn't mean that I don't love you so very much. And it doesn't mean that I'm being a poo-poo head about it. It just means that I don't want to go at that particular moment. And chances are, I really won't. Now, you might say something like, listen, I've been really sick all day, and I'm not sure that I can make it through the store on my own. And I would go, oh, I got it. Yeah, I can totally do that with you. Let's go to the store, and I'll make sure that you get everything that you need. Do you just need me to go for you? You know, I can also do that. Do you need to go lay down? Do you need to whatever? You know, I think that when you know the reason why, sometimes that changes. But as we become older, I think that we start to develop a sense of self-worth. Now, what I want to talk about is when time passes and you have not yet developed your self-worth. That can be a really hard time in life if you find yourself middle-aged and you haven't spent enough time with yourself to understand your self-worth. So, I'm going to say this. If you have not yet found that place where you are loving you and you're okay to spend time with you, I really recommend that you try very hard to do that. Ways that you can know you have not yet developed your self-worth would be, number one, you have difficulties being alone. You haven't yet become comfortable in your own skin. It may be difficult for you. And some of us like to say, I'm very extroverted. I love to be around people. And that is probably true. If I go too many days without being with people, I do get kind of depressed. I'm very much an extrovert. I love people. I love to watch them. I love to talk with them. But kind of like me too. And sometimes it's okay to stay home. It's actually really important to stay home and to spend some time with just you. Reading a book, getting to learn your likes and dislikes by watching a movie by yourself and not depending on anyone else's opinion of whether a movie is good or not. You can look at that and go, you know, I watched that with Ted when I was dating him 5 years ago, and I'm watching it again, and I don't think I liked it at all. I think I liked it because he liked it, and I was totally willing to watch it, like that 12 extra times. This is not a DVD I'm going to keep. It's amazing what you will learn when you spend time just with you. So that's number one. Another way to tell that an individual has not yet found their self-worth is if they are still playing the unsure game with other individuals. If you are someone who allows others to dictate your happiness, you have not learned your self-worth yet. And you have an opportunity to do that. This becomes incredibly tricky, especially if you are single and still trying to date, and you're finding yourself getting caught up in relationships that are not going to lead you where you want to be. This can also mean that you are in a marital relationship where you are not requiring the right kind of partner. And let's talk about that for just a little bit. So here's the thing, ladies. If you find yourself 30, 40, 50 and on up, and you are single and you are looking for a mate, and by that I don't mean a friend like fist bump, hey mate, I mean as in, hey honey, how was your day? I'm going to go ahead and take a bath, and I'll meet you in the bed and we'll have a quick conversation before we go to bed and to sleep. Or, hey honey, how was your day? I know you work nights. I left dinner in the oven for you, or it's in the fridge or whatever. I'm going to catch some shut-eye and I'll talk to you in the morning. When you're looking for that kind of relationship, here's some things to avoid. Number one, is the man married? Is the woman married? I can promise you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that gentleman or that lady is not meant for you. They have already found an individual they have agreed to pair off with. Please stay out of it. I mean, really easily, just stay out of it. Find a different one, because it will never end well. In my personal and humble experience, not that I have personally experienced it, but because I have seen it so many times. If that person is already paired off with someone, I promise, if you are faith-based, God has not placed him in your life for any reason whatsoever. Do not read into it more than what it is there. If you are not faith-based, girl, guy, what are you thinking? Like that, number one, says a little bit about your character. And then number two, I mean, they always say, and I have seen, again, with my personal experience looking at my friends, when you have someone that leaves a relationship before it has ended to go to someone else, chances are that person's eyes will wander another time, and that time it will be with you and it will end in heartbreak. It's not a good plan. If they're already paired off, you keep walking. Know your self-worth. Do not sink to trying to take something that's someone else. You wouldn't walk up to someone's red Corvette, as good as it looked, and you wouldn't try to take the keys from that person. I'm not saying that we own other people, but I am saying that once there's a match that's made, let's kind of try to respect that. And you guys might be like all kinds of crazy. Feel free to leave those comments down below. The next thing is, does this guy or this girl want to spend time with you in public, in private, getting to know you? Not just getting in the sack with you, but getting to know and understand you as a person. Do they want to know why you laugh? Do they enjoy the sound of your laugh? Do they want to make you laugh? Are they comfortable being in those quiet moments with you? I read recently that the best partner for anyone is that person who is willing to sit in the silence with you. And I think that's really true, and it's really important. I know that my hubs and I love to chat and have good conversations. We chat about our life. We talk about when the day is rough. We talk about when the day is good. We talk about this YouTube channel. But certainly we are comfortable sitting on a drive for hours and not having to say a word, because it is a comfortable silence. He can be thinking his things. I can be thinking my things. We have allowed each other to continue to get to know our self-worth. And then it also is very, I don't know, it's just very peaceful when the next conversation takes place. Then we start chatting and we have a wonderful time. And then there is never really, I guess, what they call an awkward silence. There's not the awkward silence between us. And I really love that about the two of us. And I've read that that's a good thing. So look for that. If this person is looking for not the end game. So if this person, if you are someone who's not looking for an end game either, I'm not saying anything about that kind of situation. I am talking about anyone who is interested in settling. You look for other people who are looking to settle. If that person is not wanting to settle and they give you any of the above, not right now, I'm not looking for, yeah, that's not my style, any of that, certainly feel comfortable to have a conversation with them at the water cooler or at a baseball game or passing them on the street. This is not that person you're going to develop that wonderful silence with. It's not the person who's going to respect you or cherish you at the end of the day. And you are never going to develop a long-lasting relationship with that individual, no matter how much your heart really wants to do that. Now, to continue to do that is putting yourself in jeopardy. And here is where I think self-worth comes in. At some point in time, you have to learn to love yourself more than that person in front of you. And by that I mean, you have to get to a point where you really care about whether your heart is broken, about whether someone has treated you unkindly. And I want you to be able to look at that person and go, wow, this person is not looking out for the best in me. I know that when my hubs and I have a conversation, I always say, look, I am on team, and our last name. I always go, I'm on team, we're on the team Bell. We're on team LaurelBelle, right? I have his back. We are in the same corner. And I want you to have that experience. That guy or that girl that you are looking at, they need to be moving into your corner, just like you need to be moving into their corner. And if they are telling you who they are, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think they're just telling you who they are. And you have the opportunity to say, I hear that. And decide whether that is what you want. I would love for you to really be honest with yourself. And if that's something that you really want, please, by all means, knock yourself out and I'm not in it. Make yourself happy. Be honest with you. If you're looking for a mate, if you are looking for someone to spend your life with, that's not your person. It's not your peep. Not your peep. Keep walking. Know your self-worth. Love yourself more than that person who is never going to give you the love that you're looking for. Now, I know that I have gone long. I haven't given you a whole lot on knowing your self-worth. I've just been kind of bothered by it lately as I look at some of my friends and I know that they're struggling. I look at them and I know their self-worth. I know that they are wonderful individuals. They are wonderful women. They are wonderful men with really great hearts, great personality, good looks, like all of it. They have the package. They just haven't realized it yet. And unfortunately, they keep opening the package and laying it bare. Like they keep leaving themselves in pieces. They let people get a hold of them that aren't interested in the package, right? They're the ones that take a package and they rip the string off and it goes over there, and they crumple the paper and they put a rip in the box, and then there you are as a package ripped apart laying on the floor. And I don't want you to be that package. I want you to be the package that's really cool and put together. I want that person to come down and look at you like it's a Christmas present, and they pick you up because they already know. They already know your worth. They know that you're wonderful inside, and they are ready to commit to you as a package. And they pick you up and they love you, and they don't leave you in pieces everywhere. I want you to remain intact. So I don't know if that was helpful at all to anybody, but if it was, yay. I'm really grateful for it. Give it a thumbs up. If you, I don't know, have any questions about that, sometimes some of this stuff just seems very common sense to me, but it might be something that you're struggling with. Let me know. Ask some questions. I'll be happy to help. If I can at all, thumbs up, subscribe, click that bell so you'll know when another video is coming out. Take care, everyone, and I'll talk to you again very soon.